check it out.
What's up everybody, Super WRX fan here for update number 20 on this Friday. And so yeah, 20 updates now, this is crazy. So I think it's kind of cool that there's a lot of good updates in this one, being number 20. So the first thing is that I got my new license plate in the mail, which many of you saw if you're liked on the Facebook page there. You know, you can check out all the Super WRX fan stuff, and I have the plate picture posted up there, and you can see how it looks now on the back of the car. And you might notice that I also have a new license plate frame. I received the license plate frame and this keychain, which is like kind of a carbon fiber design thing. I got both of those as a gift from a friend of mine, and I'm very grateful for him giving me those. And so yeah, I think they look great on the car. It really finishes off the license plate area pretty nicely. So excited about that. And if you see the WRX fan plate rolling around, you know, feel free to stop and say hello and stuff. I've already had actually a couple people that have spotted the BRZ even before the license plate, and you know, was able to pull over and talk to them, or talk to them at a red light, and it's really cool. I love running into you guys. That's awesome. So hopefully now with the plate it'll be even easier to spot me, and you can come by and say hello. So I appreciate all the suggestions as far as what I should plasti dip on the car, and the most popular things that I think I saw were to do the badges and to do the rims. And I love the stock rims the way they are. I know most people want me to swap them out, want me to do something with them. I think to me they remind me of the Aston Martin V12 Vantage rims with the silver and the gray. And they're really easy to keep clean because they're not quite black. They're like a sparkly gray with the silver, and they don't show dirt at all. It's great. I mean, it's really easy to keep them clean, and I really like them the way they are. So I'm not going to plasti dip the rims, but I appreciate the suggestion. The one thing, I mean, I was considering the badges too, and I still might do the badges just for kicks and see if I like it, but I do really like the chrome accents on the back of the car. I know most people don't. But the one thing that someone suggested that actually is a pretty tempting idea is to plasti dip the roof, because I've thought about doing kind of a two-tone kind of bicolore look with this car, and not only doing just the roof, but doing the A-pillars and the C-pillars there, and kind of finish the whole thing off with black. And I think that would be a cool little experiment. I'm still just a little worried about how plasti dip affects your paint, especially with thin paint. I don't want to peel it off and have my entire roof be ruined after sitting out in the sun with a black roof all summer. So I'm a little hesitant to do it still. I need to do a little more research into how plasti dip holds up with high heat and, you know, not damaging paint and stuff. So if you have any experience with plasti dip over the long term, if you've had it on your car for over a year or more, let me know how it affected the paint after you peeled it off, or if it still looked fine. Really curious. I just want to, you know, make sure about that before I go and do it, but I would love to try that out. Another little update about this car is I've noticed, especially since it's been really, really hot recently, with things expanding and contracting here in the interior with the plastics, I got a rattle a few days ago right behind like the glove box and like the aircon area, and I kept like hitting stuff to try and get it to stop, and I couldn't get it to stop. And it's not bothering me right now, but there is a little rattle right by the rear brake light on the back there in the trunk lid area, and so that's rattling a little bit. I think all the rattles are caused by the exhaust being so loud. I don't think that the build quality is necessarily bad, but so, you know, that's just a few little rattles. I don't know if they're going to get worse or go away or what, but just keeping you up to date every week on what's going on with this car. Alright, so I left a little teaser last week that if a lot of you guys wanted to hear about my first car, I'd tell you. And a lot of people said they want to hear about it, so here it is. So my first car was a blue 1997 Subaru Impreza Outback Sport. And it was my parents' car. They bought it brand new in the winter of 96/97 there. And we've had it in the family, you know, all those years, and then they just passed it down to me whenever they bought a new car. And so I had that for only about 7 or 8 months, and then I ended up getting the Legacy. So I didn't keep it very long, but in those few months I did some modifications because, like any 16-year-old boy, you want to just, you know, make the car as loud and as exciting as you possibly can with what you have to work with. So what I did, basically, I first started with the outside because it was a little rough around the edges. There was some rust on the quarter panels and things like that. And so one of the things was that the hood scoop was peeling. So I replaced the peeling hood scoop that came with the car and instead put in a carbon fiber hood scoop and carbon fiber air extractors that also, you know, fit right there into the hood. And I thought it looked really good. You know, just a few little carbon fiber bits. I made the whole front end clear, so instead of the orange turn signals and all that stuff, I cleared all that out, made that all, you know, the clear plastic, overnight parts from Japan. And so that was about it as far as the exterior stuff goes. I also put some WRX rims on it right before I got rid of it, actually. And so they kind of cleaned up the back end on it. And other than that, the interior of the car, the only thing I did to the interior was I actually put an STI seat in it from a 2004 Subaru WRX STI. It bolted right in, and I only had it on the driver's side. The passenger side was still standard stock. And I got a lot of grief for that, but I was like, you know, I just wanted a more supportive seat, I guess, because the stock seats were pretty crappy in that regard. And so that was fun. It bolted right in. It was an easy thing to do. I did all these modifications on my own, except for the exhaust system. I shouldn't say exhaust system. It was basically just a muffler. I had an Apexi N1 muffler with a 2006 Subaru WRX stock axle back, and that actually bolted right up to my catback, you know, standard stock exhaust system. So it didn't really change a whole lot, but it did give it the growl that I was looking for. Unfortunately, it wasn't a perfect fitment, and the person that put it in for me, it kind of hung a little low. So if I had like heavy people in the back seat for whatever reason, I went over a bump, that little part actually scraped along the ground. So it's kind of funny, but it sounded great. And I actually have like a video that I filmed like 7 or 8 years ago whenever I first put this exhaust system on, and it's just a few little revs, and obviously it's very low quality video because it was taken with my camera from 7 years ago. But if you would like to see the video of my first car revving, I will upload that. Again, you have to let me know, because otherwise I won't post it, because it's bad quality and it's a 1997 Subaru Impreza. But if you guys want to see it, then I'll post it up for you guys, and you'll probably get a good laugh. I still think it sounded pretty good. It was probably kind of comical considering that sound was coming out of that car. You know, it just doesn't look very aggressive. The Outback Sport was lifted even higher than the standard Impreza wagons were, so I mean, I think I improved the look of it a little bit. You know, I would like to think it was still tasteful, but again, like any 16-year-old, wasn't my proudest moment, but it was definitely a fun car. The main reason why I got rid of it so quickly is because it was an automatic transmission, and I really wanted a manual. And so, you know, if it had been a manual, I probably would have swapped a WRX power plant into it and just driven it like that, because I really did love the car. It was very lightweight. It handled really good, even with the stock suspension. And I really loved the car. It was a great car. My parents actually put it through 2 accidents, and it still was running strong, even with all the, you know, fixes and stuff. It was still a really solid car. I loved that thing. And I traded it in actually to the dealership whenever I got the Legacy. So it went to someone, not exactly sure who, and I don't know if I'll ever see the car again. I mean, I have the VIN numbers still for it, so if I ever want to track it down and I get nostalgic in 20 or 30 years, I'm sure I could probably, hopefully, track it down. But yeah, so that was my first car. So let me know what you think about it. Tell me what your first car was, or if you haven't had one yet, what do you plan on getting? So that's it for all of the updates. So I'll send it back to me at the desk for the news. Right, so for this week's news, there's only 2 things I want to talk about this week. The first thing, though, is awesome. It's the new Lexus RCF that was spied this past week. And it has all of its camouflage on it, but even with all that camo, you can't hide those huge rear fender flares that are some of the biggest fender flares I think I've ever seen on a production car in my life. And I mean, you can already make out the grille and the front air intakes and everything. I mean, it looks amazing just with all the camo on. I can't imagine whenever we see it totally naked. It's going to be amazing. But anyway, that's looks pretty sick. I mean, I think they're going to have a amped up version of the V8 that we saw in the ISF, and a lot of people thought this was maybe an ISF coupe, but apparently they're doing different things with the branding. Even though this looks like it could be an IS coupe, it's not. It's going to be totally new. There even looks like there's a little bit of a hood scoop there, but they're thinking it's going to be naturally aspirated still. But I'm so excited to see this car. I think they're saying it'll probably debut at Tokyo, and that thing looks amazing. I really hope I get to see one of those in the flesh soon, because that looks like it's going to be a monster. And another car that's actually a competitor to that, the other thing I want to talk about this week, is BMW talked a little bit about the 2014 M4 in an interview with Top Gear, and it's pretty interesting. Basically, they were saying they want to go to a more lightweight car for this one. Instead of just throwing more power at the car and just turning it into a muscle car, they want to make it leaner. They're using a lot of lightweight components and stuff, which is the best way to improve a car. You remove weight and it makes everything better. Everything. I really hope that some other car manufacturers pay attention to this and do the same thing, because that's how you make a car better. They're saying this one's going to have a 6-cylinder engine with turbos, and from the spy videos that I've seen of it running around the Nürburgring, it actually kind of sounds like an E46 to me, which should have a lot of the purists rejoicing. I mean, it's going to be a pretty sweet car. I'm really excited for this M4, especially now that I hear it's going to be lighter weight. And I mean, from the camo shots, it looks like it's going to be amazing in typical M3 form. They always do look really impressive. The M4 is going to be one really desirable car. As you've seen in my M3 reviews that I did, I love the M3. It was so much fun. I love the E92s. I love the E46, even though I haven't reviewed those. I have driven plenty of those. I love those as well. And this is going to be really awesome. I really hope I get to drive one of these eventually, because it's going to be a ton of fun, I'm sure. So yeah, guys, that's it for all the news this week, so I'll send it back to me in the car. So yeah, guys, hope you like the news portion. So as always, I'll leave you with a nice little acceleration. Fun. I love doing that acceleration for you guys every week. I'm sure you love seeing it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Take care.